Hey everybody, look what I got in the mail yesterday. River City Girls for the Nintendo Switch. This is sort of a sequel to the River City Rampage, which was on the NES. And as you can see, it's by Limited Run Games, which there's currently a controversy going on here with them and Metal Jesus. As you can see, they just had a game called Revenge of the Bird King, physical, and Metal Jesus just hyped it up as being as rare as stadium events. But as you can see here, you can get it for 9 cents digitally, whereas the physical version over here on eBay is going for a crazy amount of prices here. $2,000 by our good friend Warehouse Games. You can see him in the comments section over by Immoral Hancock's videos and other channels like that. Extremely rare. 1,000, 2,000, 650. As you can see, these prices are high. Here's one of them on auction. Got 4 hours to go at $400. 234, 17 hours, and that has nothing to do with it. Now you should read the description. Yes, I am selling PlayStation 4 version of this game and not the Vita version. I do not have the game in hand yet because I'm walking around PRGE looking for Limited Run Games booth so I can buy it, and other rare games that Joe made. I will be buying up every copy he has for sale, and will pay other attendees to buy copies for me, and if he tries to limit me. I'm starting to have my doubts about this expo, to be honest. I noticed a guy here calling his Sega Genesis collection a museum, and a special guest who is a pagan Satanist who calls himself Jesus. I'm just a reseller trying to make some money, easy money here, but honestly I don't understand this hobby one bit. Seems a little fishy if you ask me, but it's not my job to get caught up in all that radical business. This product will be shipped on Monday, and that's just that. Edit. This is a special one, everybody, rather than stadium events. This is the Holy Grail. Ultra rare trophies. Be an elite gamer. For more information about this rare and special, how rare and special this game is, please check out Canadian Gamer on YouTube and Metal Jesus Rocks. Most recent video explains all in the comment section. For hidden gem content, check out YouTube channels Radical Rick and Immoral John Hancock. I do not have this product yet in hand. It will be sold in mass quantities by Limited Run Games exclusively at Portland Retro Gaming Expo 2019, taking place October 19th. Product will be in hand and ready to ship Monday. Is it Monday? I think it's Tuesday right now. It's the 22nd. The deal will not last long, as the game is a holy grail, shipped with care, blah blah blah, and that's about it. Now the reason why I point this one out, I think this one's a troll selling. Because I've seen him in the comments. I think he's trolling these guys on the Jesus, trying to hype this game up. Yeah, his is the highest. He's probably troll. That's a troll. All the other people are following suit with the buy it now. So that's what we just seen. And of course there are buyers, but not that high. Ending in 4 hours for $400 and odd. And of course, Metal Jesus here, hyping up the game. I just watched that video, so people are pissed off at Metal Jesus spotlighting this game, but it looks like a mediocre game to me. You can get it real cheap, 9 cents off the eShop on the Switch Online. Yeah, so that's basically the controversy. Fucking Metal Jesus hyping this on up, getting the prices higher on it for people who want the game. It doesn't look that good to me, but I guess people want it, and fucking Metal Jesus hyped it up, so now the prices are going crazy. I believe they're selling for like $60 at the Expo, and Jesus said he contact the other guy who's selling them, which the guy wasn't doing. You can only get them at the Expo. It seems the game was canceled or something, so they couldn't sell them, or some shit like that. Sell them online. They can only sell them in person. You gotta look this on up. Well, anyway, back to the game. I just wanted to spotlight that controversy going on. Now, there's some people who hate limited run games, but and they say they drive up the prices. But I like them because they finally get the games physically. If you look in the trailer of when this first came out, the first thing I put in the comments is, "Will there be a physical game?" And obviously, limited run games is the only one that wants to do it. It doesn't look like a way forward wanted to do it physically. So that's why I like limited run games, because they're the only ones making the physical games. So that's why I'll support them. Anyway, this was only. As a matter of fact, this one wasn't even that much money buying it from them. Well, here's Toe Jam and Earl. While we're at, here's some other games that were limited. This one wasn't limited run games. This was by V-Blank. Another one that was Retro City Rampage. This one was digitally for years, and I was hoping for a physical copy. They finally eventually got one for the Switch. And of course, limited run games did Toe Jam and Earl. That was only $43.17. And of course, where the hell is it? Well, this one is around the same price, 40 something. So not that bad. And of course, with the Switch games, you have a chance to pre-order for about a month. I know Darius Truxton won this one. I don't know how he didn't notice this one. This was up for pre-order for about a month, so it's not that hard to get. And now I think he's after his he's got some other limited run games on the way. That Blazing Chrome, I think it was called, is on its way. I think he's stopped buying it from limited run games because this controversy with Metal Jesus and hyping up the prices on these ones. But I'm not going to quit. I'm just not going to buy that specific game here, Revenge of the Bird King. That's all. Yeah, I'm not. Everyone wants to be outraged nowadays, but. It's just that simple. If they're doing something like that, I just don't buy that particular game. I go for this one right here. Or other ones I like. Well, anyway, what came with this game also came with the physical original soundtrack, and it also has this card here. I think that's the number of the game of how many they're making. Because I also see this card also in Toe Jam and Earl here. I think that's the number of the game produced. I wonder who's got number 1, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Well, anyway, I was looking this up, how many they make. It seems like there's a minimum order quantity of these companies. It seems PlayStation has the lowest, which is at 1,000. That's the lowest amount you have to buy from them before they manufacture it. So it's not like you can pick. You can't say I just want one of them. They can't do it. The minimum is 1,000 for PlayStation. It seems the Wii and 3DS was at 6,000. Nintendo, and it seems we're unsure of what the Switch minimum order quantity is. I think it's around 10,000 because that Saturday morning RPG or whatever the fuck it was called. It was at. They said specifically on the limited run site they were doing it at 10,000, so I'm guessing Switch might be either between 6,000 or 10,000 minimum order quantity from Nintendo, whereas Xbox One is the highest. It's at, I believe, 75,000. I'll put that up. I'll show that picture up. So that's why the limited run games hasn't done any physicals of Xbox yet, because that's a lot more games. It's a bigger risk. I remember that's why they did the PlayStation games first, because it's less of a risk. So it'll be more likely to sell out. I know on the comments they like to say this is creating artificial scarcity, but there's a lot of risk involved. You can't just want to make the 100,000, a million, or whatever, a high amount in numbers, because that's the problem that happened in back in '83 with the Atari stuff. They overproduced. That's what caused the crash.
Well, the crash was inevitable simply because then people wanted to play games and everybody wanted to get into it. And in fact, in 1983, when the crash occurred, the sales of video games went up. It was the supply that went up way higher than the demand. It was a very simple thing. It had to crash. Now, where Nintendo was smart, they came along and actually put in like a lock and key system so that you couldn't make a game for Nintendo.
I believe it's 3 games a year or something like that.
And that's why Nintendo is also like that, where they don't produce much. They don't want that to happen again. It's a big of a risk, but everybody don't understand the risks in here. They always say just produce 1 million of them. Well, if they produce 1 million of them and they only sell 10,000, they're stuck. Might go out of business. So
well, for those of you who weren't even alive then, the video game business crashed in 1983. What happened was very simply what Activision did, as our questioner said, opened the floodgates. We were very successful, making money hand over fist, and people says, I can do that. And venture capitalists stepped up and started funding these companies to do just what we're doing. But when we were doing it, there were only about 10 people in the world who could do this, who knew how to do this. It was very left brain and right brain intensive. You had to be extremely technical and still be creative, and you had to figure out what's fun and all those things. And they were hiring high school kids who said, yeah, I can program a computer. And so the quality of the games really crashed. I mean, I'm talking about a time when there was no GDC. The equivalent of GDC was when the Activision game programmers and the Atari game programmers ran into each other at the food court at a local mall. I mean, that was it. So there wasn't the talent base necessary to do great games. So venture capitalists stepped up. They spent $2 million on this company, $2 million on that company. In one 6-month period, 30 companies showed up doing video games that weren't in the brochure at the last trade show. And we looked at each other and said, the crap they're putting out, they're not going to be in business a year from now. We were right. We didn't realize when we said that every one of them going out of business was going to completely destroy the market. And what happened there was people, they had a warehouse full of games and they go out of business. So some liquidator comes in, pays the bankruptcy trustee $3 a piece to buy them out of the warehouse, retails them or wholesales them for $4 and tells the retailer, you can sell these for $5 a piece. And those people who were alive for that era, you walked into a Toys R Us or a KB Toys and there was this barrel in front of the doors filled with 2,600 cartridges, just random 2,600 cartridges, $5 a piece, $5 a piece. So the kid tells dad, I want the latest Activision game under the Christmas tree. So they're about $40. Dad walks into KB Toys and says, wait a minute, I can buy 8 games for my $40. I'm going to be a hero. So in one Christmas, sales of new games went to 0. There were 20 million cartridges out there in those barrels that had to sell through first before anything we were doing could be sold as a new game. And it was pretty hard on the industry. As for coming out of it, yes, when we came out of it, Nintendo, the American video game industry was bloody. Nintendo came in and brought their NES, but they signed up developers and publishers to a very restrictive contract, and you had to sign that contract if you wanted to do anything for Nintendo. And then they controlled the business, and they got a little heavy-handed and caused other problems. So we go through cycles. I mean, we're going to go through more cycles.
Well, anyway, enough of that rant on economics. I can explain much better in the comments, written out. Oh yeah, another thing in the comments, someone said he never seen any limited run game open, but we're gonna fix that right now. Let me get this back on the tripod here so I can use both hands. So anyway, for that guy in the comments, never seen a limited run game open. There you go. Yeah, these games are meant to be played, not put on the shelf and do nothing. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Looks like we can flip the insert there. Alright, there's the game right there. Alright, we got the manual. The only Switch games that have a manual are these collector's editions. Alright. And color too, not black and white. They really went all out. Yeah, so it's worth the money. It's not even. It's $48, not even the full price of a game, which is usually around 59. Was it 50? Yeah, $59.99 plus tax. Color, nice artwork. Yeah, looks like we're looking at the bosses. Yeah, bosses here. Yeah, look at all these pages here. It's not a little pamphlet with just the controls on it. They went all out. Yep, that's and that's why I will continue to buy from limited run games, so we can get more of these physical games. We can get quality instead of being lost to the digital. Like a good example is the PT demo. I can never play that unless if I buy a PlayStation 4 that has it already installed. That's a good example. But in comparison to the physical demos, like Christmas Nights, I was supposed to get that in the Ultra Game Players magazine, but for some whatever reason it didn't come in, and I guess the mailman stole it. But I finally got it 20 years after the fact. Thankfully, because it's digital, you can always get your hands on this instead of being lost to that digital bullshit. Here it is, Christmas Nights. 20 years after the fact, I can still get it, but the PT demo, that's going to be a lot harder for me to get a hold of. I gotta buy a whole fucking used PS4 system, which I'm looking for a PS4, but I'd rather get it brand new. So, well, that right here is River City Girls. To sum it all up, I'm still going to be buying from limited run games, even though there's a controversy, because I support a physical future, not a digital only future. I don't like where the companies can just flip a switch and you can lose your games, or it's tied to just the system. So if your system breaks, you have to rebuy those games, if it's still possible to buy those games again. But with physical, you can always get a hold of them on the secondhand market. So I'll continue to support limited run games. So that's it. I'll see you guys next video.